Well, family, much anticipated, much awaited. We are finally about to do what you guys have been asking for, what my brother over at True Crime Story, Eddie Jackson Jr. has been asking for. And that is, we have an exclusive interview with Mr. Tommy Sharp, but much more famously known as Black Butch, the Black Dispatch, right? We introduced Butch to you guys 10 years ago, anniversary of the book Motown Mafia. Going into 2021, it's going to be the 10-year anniversary of the award-winning documentary Motown Mafia. So Butch was featured in there, but you know, it was a lot covered in there. So over the years, as the story has grown, you know, Butch is so famous in this town. He literally is the library of what is going on in the city of Detroit when it comes to this street thing, all the way from the late 60s, all the way going into the year 2000. I mean, his life has been absolutely phenomenal. No one spent more time with the fat man than Black Butch. You know, from sun up to sundown, he came in with the crew in the early 70s when things at first got popping. He has traveled the world. He has rubbed shoulders with everybody from the Temptations to Shaka Khan. He truly is. He's a Detroit institution, a Detroit legend. And when it comes to this street thing and how it happened and who was really who, he is truly one of the last of that era who he's not telling you what he heard or what he thinks. He's telling you what he lived. So with no further ado, my main man, Uncle Butch. Uncle Butch, how you feeling today?
I'm doing pretty fair, man.
You know, your other nephew, Eddie Jr. down there at True Crimes, he been screaming your name. The people in the comments section at Big Boss over the years, you know, everybody been waiting for you to unpack it. And I apologize it took us so long to get you back on camera, you know, from the job you did with us back at Motown Mafia. But I wanna cut straight to it. So I gave some background story. You know, you lived it all. You seen from Eddie Jackson to Jack Crawford to what's my man's name, Mr. Marzette, the whole kind of history of this game. But why don't you, Butch, why don't you start for us? How did you come into this life, man? How did you come into this life? When did it get started for you?
When I was about 18 years old, Eddie and the whole crew, we all growed up in the Valley,
okay,
which is not far from the Fox Theater. At the time, I was working. I was doing my little hustling, but I wasn't selling no drugs. I was working at the gas station. Been knowing Eddie, 5-0 and all my life. So I used to ask Eddie for a position. He told me he couldn't do it because, you understand, he was close to my mother. So I started hustling anyway with 5-0.
Now wait a minute, 5-0, that's Ronald Garrett.
Ronald Garrett.
Okay.
And so me and him, we understand, was real close. Like I said, we always close anyway because we was from growing up. And so me and him had a disagreement about something. So when we fell out, then I got with Eddie.
Well, hold on. Now when you say y'all had a disagreement, is it true, this street legend, that the reason why you and 5-0 had a beef, you was out collecting 5-0 money, 5-0 was in bed with one of his women and got disturbed? Tell the truth.
5-0, you understand, was a big freak.
All right.
And I was collecting up all the money. That's all I did. Drop the drugs off and pick the money up. I picked up $50,000, took it to him, and he got upset because I disturbed him. So I told him, you understand, he can, hey, don't even worry about it. And so me and him fell out about that. So when we fell out, Eddie heard about it. He went to joking about it, man. He said, you mean tell me that big freak, you understand, don't want to take the money, you understand? I said, you know how crazy 5-0 is. So anyway, 5-0, so Eddie said, man, I got a job for you. So this is what I've been waiting on. I said, what's the job, man? He said, he said, this was in 74. He said, I got a brand new Eldorado parked in the Omaha airport in Nebraska. He said, the keys will be in the parking lot at the attendance. And he said, all I want you to do is pick the car and bring it back. Just do the speed limit. So he gave me a plane ticket, and I went there, brought the car back. And when I got back, you understand, I come to find out I had a truck full of drugs, you know. And so, like I say, from that point on, that's what I started doing. Transport.
So Eddie flew you out to Omaha, Nebraska. The car was waiting for you.
Right.
You did what you were supposed to do.
And brought it back.
You ain't know the package was in the car till you got back to Detroit.
I got back to Detroit. He just told me don't do no speeding.
Okay. So when you start working with Eddie, let's go back to the New York thing. So when did you start going to New York?
After the bus on Hubbard. That's when I started going to New York. Me and Peter Gunn was the two road men. And Dean, Robert Robertson,
okay,
he did a trips too. But I was the main one. I was making trips back to back, going up in New York, dealing with the Gambino's family. And like I say, you understand, you had to be on a time basis. They'll give you a time to be there, and they'll tell you where to drop the car off at. And then we go to a hotel, a certain hotel, Silly Squire. That's where we would go. And then when we go there, you understand, they'll call me in the room and tell me where to come at another location. And the key will be in the car. And I get in the car, I got protection from the time I get in that car to the time I get over to George Washington Bridge. And then when I get on the other side, which is in Jersey, I will be on my own. I used to make those trips sometimes twice a week.
Twice a week?
Yeah.
Y'all was running like that?
Yeah. I can go pick up a load and get to Detroit, and it'd be sold before I even get there.
So, now this is right when y'all was at y'all peak, right?
Yep.
This is when it was going down.
Right.
And
the drugs that we was getting,
okay,
we was paying $60,000 a key.
Okay.
At that time, they weren't using those scales. We were measured out with quarter spoons. We was getting anywhere from 200 to 225 quarters of raw. We'd take it, pack it up in quarters, in bags of 25 in each bag. Take each bag and put 175 quarters on 25 quarters. That made 200. That was the key.
Wait a minute, let's slow down, because I think people when they be hearing about how y'all was able to make so much money, you saying you take 25 quarters of the raw, putting 175 quarters
of lactose,
a mix on it.
Right.
And it was still A1?
After we do that too, the person can put a 3 on it for P.
After y'all done already hit it.
That's right.
With 125, 175 on 25.
That's right. We was taking one key, making 10 keys.
Wow.
And then where we was making our money up is when we was selling mixed jive. We would take 1/4 of raw.
What is mixed?
Mix it. Quinine, dormans, and lactose.
Okay.
We would take 1/4 and put 80 quarters. We was putting a cut on it and made 81 quarters. And after those quarters, we do that, that's $45 a quarter. So that's the reason why we was making so much money.
Big Boss Filmworks and Big Boss Books presents Courtney Robert Brown Jr.'s follow-up to the book Motown Mafia. Motown Mafia, big man on campus.
My internship was kind of in how the world of international finance and international criminal activities overlap.
Corey Black Sr. wanted Corey to go to school to bring legitimacy to the family, but Corey had other plans. While in college, with the help of his friends and his girlfriend, he starts and grows a successful drug operation.
5 minutes later, 2 agents, now I know they were agents, but at the time I see 2 guys go to the right, another 2 guys start walking towards me. They stop at my seat and they go, "Grab your bags, DEA, come with us."
Needless to say, this is not the fun part of being an intern.
Corey finds himself conflicted with his responsibility to running the family business and his obligation to his college studies. However, he'll have to make things work in his favor if he wants to remain the big man on campus. The names have been changed to protect the guilty and the innocent.
I'm taking economics and business 101 and marketing, and you know, your economic teacher's telling you about a business plan and how you get a small business loan. And you know, it's kind of the hypocrisy of the world, because I'm like, that ain't how the real world works.